Okay, hi guys, it's Wilma. Welcome to my video. Today is gonna be the first video of my series called Summer in My Sketchbook. Basically, to keep it short and simple, I'm a international student in the US and I am off for the summer for college, and I'm not allowed to work in America since I'm not a citizen. So I basically don't really have anything else to do for the summer besides for making a lot of art. I am probably going to be working a lot in my sketchbook this summer. I've really been enjoying that recently, so I'm really excited. And this is gonna be my first summer since 2018 that I don't have a job and I don't really have any obligations, which kind of sounds nice, but I'm a little bit scared that I'm gonna get bored because I do enjoy working. But I'm gonna try to at least put in a lot of work into this, and we'll see how that goes. So today I'm gonna be doing a portrait in this sketchbook. It's going to be a little bit out of my comfort zone. You'll understand what I mean. You're gonna understand what I mean once we get into the video. So yeah, let's do that. So to give some context as to what I meant by saying that this portrait is a bit out of my comfort zone, it's because of the facial expression in it. As some of you may or may not know, I do a lot of portraits, but they usually all end up looking similar in their expression. When I choose reference photos for portraits, I've noticed that I tend to play it safe, and I'm drawn to certain portraits more than others. I tend to choose portraits with neutral facial expressions where there's not a whole lot going on. This is because I think that it's going to be easier for me to draw them, and I guess I'm a bit lazy when it comes to stepping out of my comfort zone. I really do want to challenge myself more in that area and not just draw people who have a straight face, because if I continue doing so, I'm afraid that everything I make will end up looking the same in the long run. I'm drawn to artists who have a lot more variation in emotion in the portraits that they make, but I have never made much of an effort to do this myself. It's easy to think about the change that you want to make, but harder to achieve it. As an artist, I'm constantly trying to find ways to improve my art and evolve, but sometimes I don't know where to begin because any change that I want to make feels too big. I think about the fact that I have already made art for so many years and this is what my art looks like. How can I do things to change it when it has already been so long? Looking at it realistically though, I can take things step by step, and by analyzing my own art, I can figure out which elements I do not like and what I want to do differently. By doing so, it makes it easier to make a change. It's just like making any sort of change in life in general. It takes time and you have to put in constant effort to see a result. But the first step to making things happen is always determining what exactly you want to change. I've been wanting to do things differently in my art in the past, and I thought that eventually it would just come to me. Other than sharpening my skills further with each piece that I make, I'm not making any other changes, unless it's something that I do intentionally. Realizing that I do a lot of the same facial expressions in my art and wanting more variation will make it easier for me to achieve, because I can pinpoint the exact thing that I want to change, rather than trying to make a change without any idea of what it is that I want to be different. On another note, I want to talk about my sketchbook. I've been using it very consistently for the past half a year, which is a big difference to how I've worked in the past. I never used to keep a sketchbook that seriously, and I mostly made standalone pieces. I feel like my sketchbook has given me a new life. Art doesn't feel like as much pressure anymore, and it has made art more enjoyable. I try to make every piece in my sketchbook good, and I know that there are many ways to use a sketchbook. Some people like to use it as a place where they scribble down ideas, and some people do finished pieces that takes a lot of effort. I used to be more of the scribble kind, but now I am more of the high effort kind. In the past, I never really understood the idea of keeping a sketchbook only to end up doing really good art in it. That was never what a sketchbook meant to me. I thought that it was mainly for actual sketching, and why would you put that much effort into it, you know? Well, my mind has changed about that. I now understand how much fun it is to keep a sketchbook, to do sketchbook spreads that have a theme, and how low pressure it can be. If I make something that I don't love, it's just gonna live in my sketchbook, and somehow that feels better than spending hours on a piece of paper that I will have to end up stashing away so I never have to see it again, or destroying it. By having a sketchbook, I'm able to document my process in a way that I wouldn't really be able to if I wasn't working in a sketchbook. There is something so satisfying about having one place for a specific time in my life and to be able to see the art that I created during that time. I also think that a sketchbook allows for more experiment. Since I don't feel like there is that much pressure in it, I don't care quite as much about the results of things. I mean, of course I want things to turn out good, but basically, as I said earlier, it doesn't really matter that much, because if I don't like it, I can just put my sketchbook away and I won't feel like a failure as much because it was just a sketchbook piece, you know? Art has been all about fun for me lately. Not that everything that I have made has been fun, but I have mostly been creating just for the fun of it. It's so easy to get wrapped up in trends and whatever you see online. I think especially for artists, we feel this pressure to always perform, and I think a lot of people can easily get stuck in a cycle where they create mainly because other people like what they make. I've struggled with this a lot before, so I'm happy to sort of have taken my power back and create mostly for myself these days, as dramatic as that sounds. I try my best to make sure that I enjoy what I make. If other people enjoy it too, that is just a bonus. With that said, I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with doing art for both yourself and others. I think that it's important to not let social media consume you and take away what you enjoy with art. Because when you create for others, I think that that is what happens a lot of the time. And you can very easily get lost in trying to please other people. I know that finding a balance is difficult, especially if you create art as your job. Your job literally is to please other people. And I'm not going to sit there and pretend like I know everything about how to create the perfect balance with making art for yourself and for others, because I don't. I just know the importance of it. Anyway, this is getting a bit too real and deep right now, so I'm going to talk about this painting. When I first picked out the reference photo, I had a lot of other photos that I wanted to paint as well. This one was not one that I gravitated the most towards because of the reasons that I discussed before. The facial expression was out of my comfort zone. But after painting this, I did realize that it was not that much more difficult than any of the other portraits that I've made with more serious faces. I think I put up mental blocks for myself very easily by assuming that I can't do something just because it isn't within the realm of what I usually create. But I proved to myself with this piece that it wasn't really that much more difficult than a portrait with a serious face, which means that it was all a mental thing that I thought that it would be more difficult. I can't even begin to explain how much I get in my own way with art sometimes. My biggest enemy is literally me and having to choose a reference photo. But I guess that's also up to me, which leads it back to me being my own biggest enemy. Either way, I'm going to continue to make art in my sketchbook this summer, and I'm hoping for some sort of insight to happen as to what direction I wish to take my art in, and what I can do to make it a bit different other than doing more expressive portraits. Because honestly, I have been a bit bored of my own art lately. I have really been enjoying the art that I've made, but that doesn't mean that I'm not bored of it. I know what I enjoy making, which is a good thing, but I don't want to get too stuck in only doing the things that I know that I enjoy and try to experiment with different subjects and perhaps different mediums if I want to get a little bit crazy. Who knows? But I also want to try my best to find a good balance between trying new things and not putting an intense amount of pressure on myself. Change happens slowly and you have to have patience for yourself, which is something that I've definitely learned throughout the years. I used to put a lot more pressure on myself to change my art because I just wanted the change to happen so quickly, but I've come to the realization that it's not something that you can make happen that quickly. Change happens with a constant effort and over a period of time. And with all that rambling, I'm going to end this video here. I really loved the piece that I made in this video and I truly had a lot of fun making it. Thank you for watching this video. Hopefully I will see you in my next one. Hope you'll have a great day, night or morning, and yeah, that's it. Bye guys.